I just watched the W.A.P episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 3. I'm not sure which episode it is, but as I say, it's the W.A.P one. Wanda ain't playing, and Wanda ain't playing. She comes to steal, kill, and destroy every episode she comes on. She shuts it down. She's like, y'all want Ms Wanda, y'all got her. I love her. But last episode, I didn't really understand. Because I don't understand trying to get Martell and Mel back together. But I don't get it. But it starts back with the guys messing with Martell about Ariane and, getting a DNA test. And if you love her, you won't get a DNA test. Just BSing like dudes do. Nothing like what's going on inside Black with the women. But, Marcel says, they start joking with Marcel, being a chauvinist and stuff. And Marcel says he would never get married a second time. Maurice and Martell joke that Marcel doesn't value marriage anyway. Martell gets a good laugh off of that. Because you remember Marcel was... I think it was Marcel and Tisha. Martell feels like Marcel and Tisha kind of brought everything to the forefront, which I don't know that that's the case for them. But yeah, so Martell got a good laugh off of them, off of Maurice, joking that Marcel doesn't value marriage, but Marcel's just basically saying there's just no plan B. He's never going to get a divorce. And, if he ever does, if something ever happens, he's just never going to get married again. So that's what's going on outside. Martell, just says like, look, of course I love her. I love everyone. But as far as me and Mel getting back together, the Lord would have to come down and touch me himself personally, for him and Mel to work out, because they're just not compatible. In the inside with the ladies, like I said, is completely different than outside, where they're joking around. In the inside, they're, snipping. Ms Wanda is trolling, trying to get Mel and Martell back together in the most passive-aggressive way I've seen her in a while. Normally I find her pretty straight up, and that's what I like about her. But this time she just seemed like she was just definitely trolling. But they're at this point they're on fussing at Ms Wanda for trying to get her and Martell back together, and at the same time liking one of Ariane's, the side chick, one of her, maybe probably the main chick now, but the lady who Martell was cheating with, Ariane. Ms Wanda apparently liked one of her pictures or told her that she was beautiful, and Mel is like, I don't care, what's going on. I would never tell, no matter, any of y'all here, Scorpios are loyal, and if anybody was ever trying to mess with y'all man, y'all would never have to worry about me liking them or liking any of their pictures or telling them they're beautiful. You really might have to worry about me knocking them out if I ever see them in the street. Mel, once again, did you follow Destiny into the bathroom when she was upset? Mel, when your friend Destiny was upset, what did you really do? Did you sit there and try to laugh in her face, at her feelings? Did you try to make a mockery out of her in the face of the person who played her at her birthday brunch, Tiffany? Where is this loyal person where is this loyal Scorpio that we're talking about? But this is what she says. And then Wanda goes on to make a great point about the fact that Mel and Martell, she knows them, but they ain't friends. So I don't know what you talk about as far as loyalty goes. You want to talk about loyalty? Get with Tisha. Be friends with Tisha, because she don't follow her. You know what I'm saying? And Tisha's the one who y'all have been trying to tell loyalty isn't a real thing, all these seasons anyway. So get with Tisha, y'all could be cool about that. Then Destiny is just like trying to, she feels like her and Mel are, this is what she says in her confessional, her and Mel aren't in the best place, but at the same time, she's not going to just let Wanda sit there and run her mouth. Why not? Why not, Destiny? Like, you're a chihuahua. You're one of these people who just enjoy barking. Anyway, she tells Ms Wanda, this woman came in and destroyed a family. Ms Wanda's like, Martell did that. Y'all always trying to go at the woman. All I did was tell this woman she's beautiful. I mean, so you tell me you have a problem with that? And Destiny's like, yeah, as a woman, I'm gonna tell you I do. And then Ms Wanda was like, well, then you're insecure. And then Destiny stands up, oh no, I'm not, and just does all this twirl and shakes her hair in Ms Wanda's face and all that. And I'm like, Destiny, what's wrong with you? Why you so whatever you are? She got on my nerves this episode. So Wanda continues to troll Mel about how long her and Ariane were sister wives. So she's like, is it 3 years or 4 years, 5 or whatever? And Mel is just like, I think the problem really is older women like yourself coming in and telling younger women that they need to stay in situations that are killing them on the inside. And Ms. Wanda, this is how I know she's trolling for real, because Ms. Wanda says, well, how do you know it's killing you on the inside? Oh my God. And then I think the kicker, what made Mel run off, was that again, like I said, Wanda was like trolling her about being sister wives, and she was like, were y'all ever friends? Did you ever talk to her? And Mel was like, no, we ain't never be friends. That's not who I am. I don't get down like that. And then she got up and left, and Destiny left behind her. So it was just Destiny and her walked outside. Marcel was out there trying to get another hug from Mel. What? Anyway, he was like, come here, let me talk to you. Just Marcel is also got on my nerves this episode. Anyway, yeah, so that leaves Wanda and Kimmy at the table, and Wanda is fussing at Kimmy for some reason. At this point, they're just going back and forth, and Kimmy's basically saying, I'm not saying you're wrong, and they need to be together. Yeah, this is Wanda. They need to be together. Kim's like, I agree with you, and I'm just like, okay, what? How do you even hear what she's saying? It's so high pitched. And so, are you saying that you agree that Mel and Martell need to get back together? Does everyone think that? Like, do y'all not see? Look how they acting. Yeah, so they're sitting there fussing, and then somehow it turns back into to Kimmy. Whatever Kimmy said something that Wanda can't necessarily recall because she doesn't store everything in her brain. And Kimmy's just like, if you cannot, tell me what it is, tell me what I said. Then Wanda was like, you said something online. And then she was like, you made my daughter cry, you said something online. Kimmy was like, tell me what it is. And she was slapping on the table. And for some reason, somehow Ms. Wanda heard. No, Kimmy, let me say this again. Kimmy said, if you can't tell me what it is right now, then stop talking about it. Move on. She's slapping on the table. She's very animated about it. And of course, Destiny's in the background with her big old eyes, just, I guess, waiting for the moment to jump in, like they're playing Double Dutch or something. But Kimmy got it, and she's just telling her, just give it up. If you can't tell me what I said, then then give it up. And then Wanda says, you got it, Kimmy. You know what it is. Just like, Ms. Wanda, what is it? I want to know what it is too. But Ms. Wanda says she don't recall. So she gets up and she says, well, I'm gonna shake my bones or something like that and leave or something. She says something to that effect, and then she picks up her little purse and she walks outside laughing like a little witch. So then you have Mel making her second single about Mel and Ariane. It's called Side Chick of the Year Award. She says it's not about Martell at all. Martell thinks all of her songs about him, but she says that she has other writers who write about their experiences, and she just sings them and they make her feel empowered. Mel, these songs are about, this song in particular is about Ariane. Quit. Gave you 5 years to cut her off. And that other song, like, that wasn't about Martell. Stop. Mel is just full of it. Destiny comes in and says that's her jam, and they hug and all this stuff, and they're the watermelon mended their friendship so well. But Destiny clearly just comes to get the tea about Tiffany and why she was crying at Black, because you remember Maurice got into that butt at Black about what she said about Monster. And in Tiffany's, Destiny's, getting the tea under the guise of being concerned about why Tiffany was so crying. She's felt so bad for her. But before that, before she gets there, Mel is talking about how she doesn't care about what people think, or the reason why people think that she's making these songs. And speaking of what people think, what about Ms Wanda at Black getting all of her business? She said she had time for her and all this stuff or whatever. And Destiny was like, well, who I was really worried about was Tiffany. She was crying. I even hugged her and said, what's wrong? Destiny, you full of it. Oh my God. So they go into this whole thing about how Tiffany was upset because she hurt their feelings, and she didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not who she is. And Destiny was like, well, she didn't cry when she hurt my feelings. I'm just joking. Oh my God. Mel says, well, maybe that's because you were being aggressive with Tiffany, and Maurice was actually calm with her. And so, Destiny was like, this word aggressive, why you keep saying aggressive? She was like, yeah, you are aggressive. You were aggressive with me the last time I saw you before Black. And Destiny was like, okay, you say I'm aggressive, but did you understand where I was coming from? Mel was just like, no, to be honest with you, it's hard to understand what you were saying because of all the aggression. And then Destiny goes on to try to get an answer to whether or not she's a better friend, or she feels closer to Tiffany than she does Destiny. And Mel just basically says that Destiny is more sensitive, so she knows she has to have Tiffany's back, but she thinks that Destiny can have her own back, basically. I don't know, just some BS. That watermelon didn't do anything. Okay, so Martell lost his businesses, I guess, in the divorce. And but he has a friend that he's known for a couple years named Fred, and Fred took him into his business. He saw how knowledgeable Martell was, and he said, come on in. Fred has the licenses, Martell doesn't, because when he was with Mel, they both took the test. Martell didn't pass the test. Mel did, and so since they were married, he just never tried again. But now that he doesn't have it, he needs to get in order for him to continue with his businesses. He needs to continue in his business. He needs to be with someone who has it. So Fred is a perfect match for him. So they become business partners, and so they meet up at this house, and they're just talking about that, and Fred is happy to have him on because he said he saw him in a very traumatic spot, and anything he could do to help him out of it, he will. And he's so glad. He's surprised that he doesn't have his business license, because he just is so knowledgeable. It amazes him that he's gone as long without it. And Martell is just like, he learned from this situation. And the biggest drive for him to get it now is the time when the moment when Chris came to him and told him that he had gone to Melody, or the other way around. I can't remember who told him that Chris had gone to Melody about the 47 acres. He said that moment just messed him up, because he's the one who brought the 47 acres to Chris. And it's just funny that you feel so betrayed, because didn't you betray your friends with this 47 acres? What's up with the 47 acres? You betrayed them. I just saw the first episode on YouTube earlier because it came up in my algorithm, and I had to go ahead and watch it. And yeah. So this 47 acres is just being, it's just an agent of chaos. It's just being passed around, because at this point, Martell says that he was able to get the first rights on the 47 acres, and he's going to build 41 houses on 41 lots on the 47 acres to get out ahead of Chris and Mel. So that is that with that. Martell is back in business with his boots and everything, so he has that going on. Now Ms Wanda is, I didn't say, back at the studio where Destiny and Mel was, Mel basically foreshadowed that Wanda was going to do what I'm about to tell you she did. Wanda was telling Tisha about the fact that she was trying to get Mel and Martell together, and she was telling her basically everything that happened, or her version of it. She said all the other girls were mad at her because of what she did with Arian, telling her she's beautiful, and Tisha agrees with the girls because she says that, that's disrespectful. So she would never do that. And so Wanda says that she told them they're all insecure, and Mel and Destiny ran off behind. Mel ran off like she always does, and Destiny ran off behind Mel like a monkey chasing bananas. So Tisha was like, no, I'm gonna have to, tell you, don't, back up off of Destiny now. She cool. I promise you, she cool. And Wanda looks at her like, what? How dare you? So then Wanda decides to up the ante. You ever talk to someone who is just trying to get a reaction out of you? So everything they say seems like they're trying to make it bigger and bigger. So you have a reaction that kind of matches their energy. Wanda does this, and Wanda tells. No, Wanda didn't necessarily lie on Mel. Well, actually, she did because she was trolling. She didn't tell the whole story. Anyway, so yeah, Wanda lies and says that Kimmy beat the table and told her to shut up after Mel left. Tisha took that as just her just randomly doing that, but then she thought about it and she said, "Mom, I need to know what it is you said that made her do that, because what is going on that made her feel like she could say it." Because then Wanda was like, it was just basically her taking up for Mel. And Tisha was just like, "Mama, you don't need to worry about her taking up for Mel. It's just what it is. Like, you like to fight and I don't. And it's just, I feel like you need to stop taking up for me. And because I'll be 40 this year, and I can handle myself. So just, I need you to back up." So then Marcel comes out. And, he kisses, I guess he can sense what's going on. First of all, they show him in the window looking at what's going on. And then he comes out and he's like looking like, "Oh, what's going on here? I'm glad you didn't bring her in the house." And he kisses Tisha on the forehead like, "This is mine," type jump. He's so petty. Ugh. So then he goes and he squeezes Ms Wanda's like shoulders, like very like he almost like he didn't even want to touch her. And then Tisha's like, "What's up with that side hug?" And he's just like, "Well, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all just always have a problem with what I'm doing?" And then Wanda's like, "Yeah, I'm not male. I can't get a whole hug." He was like, "Did you just say you're not male? You can get a whole hug? What you mean? Like, why are you here? What's going on?" So he was like, "Also, you bring a bottle of champagne to Mel, And then Tisha's like, "Yeah. So what's going on with that?" So because Tisha thought that Tisha knew that he wanted Mel as an ambassador, and they talked about that, but she thought that he gave the bottle. Tisha says to him, "I thought that you gave the bottles to her at my graduation. Did you go and see her personally?" And he's just like, "Well, what if I did? So what if I did?" And so Tisha grabs his chin like, answer the question, because if you went to go see her without telling me, that is going to be a problem. So all the "I'm a secure woman" thing, went out the window. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not about the being secure, it's about, you not telling me the truth type thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's not necessarily that I'm insecure and I think you're, going to step out on me, but it's that you're being dishonest with me about this and why. Maybe that's it. I'm just trying to give some grace to Tisha because I love her and she looks so pretty with her braids. So, he's refusing to tell, what the truth, and then Ms Wanda somehow turns this into the baby thing, the outside baby thing, and he was like, "Yeah, you might be a side grandma." She was like, "Your mama a side grandma." It just gets very petty, and then so Tisha gets irritated about her mom bringing up the side baby thing, and she's just like, "Ma, you're being very disrespectful. You disrespecting my house. Every time you come here, you just do all that. You tear stuff up, and I would never try to mess up somebody's marriage and all this stuff. I guess the fact that her mom brings this up and brings it up on camera, and just the whole thing. Tisha seemed like she was ready to cry almost, but she was checking her, and I'm sure people are. I don't know if people are appreciating it but they have been complaining that Tisha doesn't say anything to her mom. So hopefully Marcel was appreciating it, because that's been his issue as well. But he didn't really deserve it, because he was being a jerk and being antagonistic himself, in my opinion. Let's see. Did I get everything? But like I said, Marcel refuses to answer because he feels like Tisha, he says, child. Wait, first he says that Marcel says that Wanda is lying, but then, of course, they show the clip of when Marcel admits to taking Mel the bottle of champagne. And Martell is right there. Everything that Wanda said about that particular thing was the truth. So that was all on camera. So Marcel, why do y'all do this where y'all lie about things that are on camera? I just don't get it. So like I said, Tisha demands an answer. He refuses, and he says that if somebody can bring his wife something and stick it in her head, she better just keep it in her head, because he's not going to entertain it. You're full of it, Marcel. That's you just... Whew. Especially after watching the first episode again earlier. Marcel, I could never. Tisha is blessed. I hope that their marriage and their life is so much happier than I feel like I would be in it, because I love them, as characters on TV. But the way Marcel acts is just awful sometimes, and just I don't think I could deal with it. But yeah, like I said, Tisha finally checks her mother, so people should be happy about that. We'll see how that turns out next episode, where they look like the whole gang is going to Las Vegas. And it looks like Marcel, Tisha, and Kimmy are going to get into it about Jalen, because Jalen still needs help, and he's not feeling like he's getting help. And apparently something is said between Jalen and Tisha that Kimmy doesn't appreciate, and Tisha's saying that it was Jalen that was being smart, not Tisha, and Kimmy's just saying she's sick of all of them, basically. So we'll see how that pans out next episode. The last thing, this happened actually before the crescendo, which was Tisha finally going, checking her mom. Tiffany was riding around on a riding lawnmower, and she's cutting a swath of grass. It doesn't look like they had enough grass, maybe because she cuts it all the time because she finds it therapeutic. She's very upset about what happened with Maurice. Her husband's out there also cutting grass. It looked like he was cutting grass with another lawnmower. So maybe she wasn't really doing anything. I don't know what's going on with that whole situation. I don't even know if they were at a real. I don't even know if that grass was real, or if that lawnmower was real. But anyway, so her husband is also out there. Maybe he had a weed whacker or something. He had something, and so she stops riding around on a lawnmower, and while she's she tells her husband how upset she is about what's going on or what happened with Maurice. Like, she understands where he was coming from, but at the same time, she really feels like that it was all really about the fact that they don't have any communication in their home, and she's in her second marriage, and her husband's also in his second marriage, and they know that communication comes first, and they would never have something like that happen and not tell each other. And it's just like Mel said, like, the biggest thing was that he was really upset that that Tiffany told Kimmy and not him. What? The mental gymnastics that you have to jump through to not just accept the accountability, the fault, the responsibility that you took on when you talked about a child, a minor, on television. That wasn't your kid. That wasn't your story to tell. It's as simple as that. The husband kind of says that, but he also says that if he had the drink that he had planned on drinking, the shot that he had planned on getting before he talked to Maurice, it might have been a different story. And then I'm just like, wait. He felt like, like I said, he felt like Maurice should have just said what he had to say, and that was it, because it's not like somebody got shot. It's not the end of the world. It wasn't. So that's why this conversation should have been, you guys should have just took the hit on the chin, because Tiffany messed up, and you're her husband. You happen to be there with her. So just absorb it and rock on. Maurice didn't knock anybody out, you know what I'm saying? Him checking y'all was not the end of the world. Tiffany felt like she would have been okay if Monster's mom wasn't there. Why? What difference does it make? That's her son as well. You talked about her son as well. You're lucky she didn't slap you. What was wrong with you, Tiffany? You so upset you had to ride a lawnmower? Oh my God. So yeah, that was it. That was it. Next week. I guess we'll see if Tiffany's husband does something about it. Freaking idiots. Anyway, that's just how that goes.